Morning students. So today we will be discussing the part 2 of this chapter, continuity and differentiability, that is the conditions for differentiability and differentiation of a function. So what we are going to learn today, we will be learning about meaning of differentiability of a function, differentiability of a function at a point, differentiability of function in an interval, then graphical representation of differentiability, then rules for differentiability, and some standard results relating to differentiability. So at the end of this session, you will be able to define what differentiability is. You will be able to draw the graph of differentiable functions and explain the criteria for differentiability, and also you can discuss the rules for differentiability. And prior to this, we have studied about the continuity, graphs of continuous functions, graphs of discontinuous functions, and then algebra of continuous functions, and we have solved some of the problems relating to continuity. Now question comes, what is the meaning of derivatives? A linear function varies with a constant rate through its domain. Therefore, the rate of change of the function is the same as rate of change of the function at any point. However, the rate of change of function varies from point to point in case of non-linear functions, and the nature of variation is based on the nature of the function. Nature of variation of the function depends upon the nature of the function. Now here we have drawn the graph of a function. The rate of change of function at a particular point is defined as the derivative of that function at that particular point. Now think of the tangent, slope of tangent. Now the slope of tangent to this curve at this point, it is change in the y coordinate by change in x coordinate. That means it is denoted by delta y by delta x. And when this delta x is very, very small, that delta y also is proportionately very, very small. And this delta y by delta x becomes dy by dx. And dy here it is f of x plus delta x minus fx by delta x. So derivative is the rate of change in the slope of the curve of the function. Next comes your differentiation. What do you mean by this differentiation? And differentiation in mathematics is the process of finding the derivative. So derivative, as you have already discussed, it is the slope of the tangent to a curve at a given point. Now differentiation is the process of finding the derivative or rate of change of a function. So it is a process by which we find the derivative. Derivative is a process, differentiation is a process by which we find the derivative of a function. That means we find the rate of change of a function. And it is a method of finding the derivative of a function or instantaneous rate of change in function based on one of its variables. Let us say x is a variable and y is another variable. Then the rate of change of x with respect to y is denoted by dy by dx. This is the differential coefficient of a function, and it is written in different forms. As per Euler's notation, it is capital D y or capital D fx. And by Leibniz notation, it is called dy by dx or ddx of y. And by Lagrange notation, it is f dash x. This is called f dash x. Next comes the geometrical meaning of differentiation. What is the geometrical meaning? Now we have the curve, say P is the point xy, coordinate is xy or xfx we can call it, and now x changes to x plus delta x. So the now new coordinate, the new position of point P has the coordinates x plus delta x and y plus delta y. Now slope of this curve PQ, it is the change in y coordinate divided by this x coordinate. So it is y plus delta y minus y divided by x plus delta x minus x. This can further be written as f of x plus delta x minus fx divided by x plus delta x minus x, which is equal to delta y by delta x. Or this can be written as f of x plus delta x minus f of x divided by delta x. As this point Q approaches to point P, delta x approaches to 0. So that means we are comparing the negligible changes. Thus we observe graphically that the slope of curve PQ becomes the slope of the tangent at point P, which is written as dy by dx or f dash x. So that means when point Q is approaching to point P, this curve becomes a tangent to this curve at point P. Now proceeding further, since point Q is approaching to point P, now this point Q may approach to point P either from the right or from the left. If it is approaching from the right, we call it a right hand derivative, and if it is approaching to point P from the left, it is left hand derivative. And we say the derivative of a function exists, that means a function is said to be differentiable at a given point P if the right hand derivative is the same as the left hand derivative. That means limit delta x tends to 0, f of x plus delta x minus fx by delta x, which is a right hand derivative, must be equal to f of x plus delta x minus fx divided by minus delta x, where delta x is a positive quantity. And in place of this delta x, we can also take h. Sometimes in some of the books we find that in place of delta x it is given h, and accordingly the left hand derivative and right hand derivative are defined in the form of limit h tends to 0, f of a minus h minus fa by minus h, and the right hand derivative is limit h tends to 0, f a plus h minus fa by h. Now some of the examples of differentiable functions. Now consider a function which is everywhere continuous but is not differentiable. This occurs quite often with piecewise functions like greatest integer function, modulus function, etc. Since even though two intervals might become connected, the slope can change radically at their junction. Now let us consider the example that gx is equal to mod x, and we know the definition of modulus function, and it is defined as minus x when x is less than 0, 0 when x is equal to 0, and it is plus x when x is greater than 0. And when we find g dash x, so it is ddx of minus x becomes minus 1 when x is less than 0, and it is plus 1 when x is greater than 0. Now the question comes, what happens to it when x is exactly equal to 0? Now let us find out the derivative of the function at x is equal to 0. Now we know g dash x limit h tends to 0. It is x plus h modulus minus mod x by h. This is limit h tends to 0, mod x plus h minus mod x by h, and now we have multiplied both numerator and denominator by mod x plus h plus mod x. So on simplification that becomes limit h tends to 0, 2x by mod x plus h plus mod x, and putting h 0, that becomes 2x by modulus of 2x, which in turn becomes x by mod x. Now if we put x 0, so g dash 0 becomes 0 divided by modulus of 0, that means 0 by 0, which is undefined. So that means this function is not differentiable at x is equal to 0. Now some of the examples. The acceleration, rate of change of velocity with respect to time. So whenever we find the acceleration, it is the rate of change of velocity, that means dv by dt, change in velocity with respect to time. Even whenever we calculate the highest and lowest point of the curve in a graph, or to know its turning point, the derivative of the function is required. Again, to find the tangent and normal to a curve, we use the derivative, because slope of tangent we know dy by dx, and slope of normal becomes minus of 1 by dy by dx. So knowing the slope of tangent and slope of normal, we can find the equation of tangent and equation of normal. So that means to find the equation of tangent and equation of normal to a given curve at a given point, we require the derivative. And here some of the graphs are there which shows whether the function is differentiable or not. Now consider this graph. Here we find that there exists a unique tangent to the curve at point x is equal to a. That means the slope of tangent is a finite quantity. That means we can say f dash a exists and it is finite. Whereas in this case, both left hand derivative and right hand derivative exist, but they are not equal. That means f dash x does not exist, because we have already studied that the function is differentiable at a point if the left hand derivative and right hand derivative are equal. In this case, left hand derivative exists and right hand derivative also exists, but they are not equal. Some more examples. Consider this curve. So in this figure 3 and figure 4, they have infinite derivatives. That means f dash a approaches to plus infinity and f dash a minus approaches to minus infinity respectively. That means left hand derivative and right hand derivative both approach to infinity. One approaches to plus infinity, the other approaches to minus infinity, and hence we say f dash a does not exist, because we are not getting any finite value for f dash a, neither from the left nor from the right. Now consider this curve. In figure 5, we have f dash a approaches to plus infinity and f dash a approaches to minus infinity, and f dash a does not exist. So here one thing we can note, that differentiability implies continuity. That means if a function is differentiable, it has to be continuous. But if a function is continuous, it is not necessarily differentiable. For example, say fx is equal to mod x. It is continuous at x is equal to 0, but it is not differentiable at x is equal to 0. Then some of the formula which we have read it in class 11 relating to differentiation. Derivative of tan x becomes sec square x. Derivative of cos x becomes minus sin x. Derivative of sin x becomes cos x. Derivative of log x becomes 1 by x. Derivative of e to the power x, it is same as e to the power x. And a ddx of x to the power n, that is nx to the power n minus 1. And the derivative of a constant is always 0. Now some of the rules relating to differentiation. Sum or difference rule. So this rule says the derivative of the sum of two functions, it is sum of their derivatives. And the derivative of the difference of two functions is the difference of their derivatives. And in product rule, suppose fx is equal to the product of two functions ux and vx. Now f dash x, it is first function into derivative of second plus second function into derivative of first. It is u dash x into vx plus ux into v dash x. This is our product rule. So we have the sum rule, difference rule, product rule, and one more rule, that is your quotient rule. if the function fx is in the form of the quotient of two functions ux by vx with the condition that vx is a non-zero function, the derivative of the function is given by denominator into derivative of numerator minus numerator into derivative of denominator divided by denominator whole square. Next comes your chain rule. Now the question comes, when do we apply chain rule? If a function y which is equal to your fx, it is not a function of x, it is suppose a function of u, and u happens to be a function of x, that means it's a composite function, then the chain rule for differentiation is defined as dy by dx is equal to dy by du into du by dx. That means since y is a function of u, so we differentiate y with respect to u. Then since u is a function of x, then we differentiate u with respect to x. And this plays a major role in the method of substitution that helps to perform differentiation of composite functions. So whenever we have composite functions, we need to apply chain rule to find the differential coefficient of that function. Then some of the questions are given to you as homework, so please try to solve these questions. Find the differentiability of the function, following functions: fx is equal to mod x at x is equal to 0, fx is equal to cos x at x is equal to 0. Then test the continuity and differentiability of the greatest integer function at integral points and at non-integral points. And question 3 is, give the example of a function which is continuous at a given point but not differentiable at that point. Thank you.